I'm going to show you how to market your business the right way, because whether your goal is to get more leads, more customers, or more sales, this video will help. Because the reality is, when it comes to marketing your business, there's a right way and there's a wrong way, and most businesses are doing it the wrong way. So let's fix that now. Hey there, my name is Adam Earhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to The Marketing Show. All right, when it comes to marketing your business in today's day and age, the reality is pretty plain and simple, in that there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And sadly, the vast majority of businesses are making way too many mistakes and falling into the trap of marketing their business the wrong way. Just a few examples of this would be prioritizing selling over serving, or selling over sharing, or selling over stories, or selling over, well, you get the picture. But the key to success and the key to marketing your business the right way isn't just avoiding selling. After all, you need to sell. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money, you're not going to be in business, and then what's the point of this whole thing? But there is a way to sell strategically and ethically and authentically, and in a way that actually adds goodwill and value and really increases your business's profitability. That's what we're going to be talking about now. So with all that said, let's dive into tip number 1 and how to market your business the right way, which is kind of a bit confusing and maybe a bit contrarian, but it's the idea to avoid competitive research. Now, this one is really hard for me to say, especially as someone that really advocates strategic marketing and really strategic thinking, doing your due diligence, making sure you've done your competitive research, making sure you're tracking your analytics and your metrics, and making sure that your marketing is accountable to the end goals and to the objectives that you're setting out to. However, there is a point, and a lot of businesses fall prey to this, where they overly rely on competitive research and they base all of their decisions on what other people are doing rather than what's on best for their business. First of all, there's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of competitive research. After all, you've got to figure out your business's positioning and where you stand in the marketplace relative to other competitors and what your key differentiators are, or what makes you unique, or what your competitive advantages are. All of that stuff. The problem, however, is that especially when it comes to new forms of marketing, whether we're talking digital or online or social media marketing in general, so many people are doing it so wrong, which means that you have a scenario of the blind leading the blind. You've got businesses that are doing competitive research by looking at all of their competitors, and they're copying or mimicking or modeling what they're seeing other people doing, and the problem is that most other people are doing it wrong, which means that you're taking all of the bad stuff they're doing and you're just doing it as well. That's obviously a terrible strategy. It kind of reminds me of the old saying is that just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean you should do it too. Well, this is very, very true here. Just because everybody else is using a certain social media channel or posting a certain style of post or making a certain kind of video or whatever the strategy is, it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. And even if it is the right thing for them, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing for you, because best case is you're going to come across as a copycat or a second-rate version of your competitor. And worst case scenario is you're just going to be doing all of the wrong things in all of the wrong places, getting no results, and essentially just costing yourself time, money, and energy and moving your business backwards. Not a good thing. The key here is to do a little bit of competitive research. However, if you're going to be mimicking or modeling or copying or really just getting inspiration from your competitors, well, please make sure they're doing it right. Make sure that you're copying those businesses that are at the peak of their game, and make sure that you understand why they're doing what they're doing rather than just copying it blindly, because you never know. The strategies that you could be copying from them could be a test for them, or it could be something that they're thinking of discontinuing at some point in the future, or it could just be one of their areas that just isn't working that well that they've yet to scrap. So again, you always want to make sure that you're basing your marketing strategies, all of your efforts and your campaigns based on the proven marketing fundamentals of who your customers are, what your business model is, and what your goals are. All right, let's move on to the next way and how to market your business the right way, which is really to focus on one thing at a time. Now, probably no surprise if you've been following my content for any length of time, you understand the value and the importance and the significance of being really strategic with your marketing, really focusing in on what you're trying to achieve, and then reverse engineering the best path to get you there. What also you've probably heard is that you can't try to appeal to everybody all at once. When you do, you come across as bland, as boring, as vanilla. You're really forced to water down your message in order to appeal to everybody. After all, you can't can't get specific. You can't really niche down your offer or your service or your message, which means it's going to come across as just noise in the marketplace, allowing you to get lost in the sea of competitors. You don't want that. The alternative and the solution here is to be really laser focused, really specific on your marketing campaigns. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting and a little bit more challenging to try to explain because, like most things with marketing, it's part art and part science, and the devils are in the details and these things are all nuanced. So, hear me out here. We're going to work through it together. The very first thing is that what I am not saying is that your business model needs to be focused on just one product or just one service or just one market. Not saying you need to do that. If you're just getting started, that's a great way to quickly reach that critical mass and be able to scale accordingly. However, if you do have a business where it serves different customers, it serves different products or different services and all kinds of different markets and industries, that's okay. You're able to do that. But your marketing needs to be focused on one single thing at a time, meaning you shouldn't launch a general brand awareness campaign for your entire business that promotes all of your different products and all of your different services, because all you're going to do is overwhelm or confuse your potential customers, including those that are really only focused in on one of your products or one of your services, who just really aren't going to care about all the other stuff that your business does, no matter how wonderful it is. And I know it's pretty special. So to put things even more simply, what I'm saying here is anytime that you're launching any kind of marketing initiative or marketing campaign, you want to be focused in on one customer avatar, one ideal section of your target market. You want to be promoting one specific product or one specific service that solves one specific pain point, and it does it in one specific way. And that is your entire marketing campaign, really focused in on just one different area. Now, of course, you can have multiple marketing campaigns, and the beauty of digital marketing and online marketing is that you can run these things all at the same time. You can be targeting women with one campaign, men with another campaign. You can be selling a product over here. You can target service-based customers over here, and nobody will be the wiser. Nobody's going to see the overlap because the targeting options are just so specific and so dialed in. But with this power comes responsibility, which means that, again, I don't want to see these mass marketing campaigns anymore. You've got to be focused, you've got to be targeted, especially if you want to do cost-effective marketing and not just waste your entire budget trying to reach everybody with a really boring and watered-down message. All right, the next tip that I want to cover in how to market your business the right way is to pick a primary platform. There's a great quote by Abraham Lincoln that says, "If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening the axe." This is how I want you to think about all of your marketing campaigns moving forward. I want you to spend the vast majority of your time really clearly identifying your ideal target market, where they're active and present online, which kind of different platform is going to best align with your business and with your goals, and really make sure that you're making the right decision before deploying any kind of marketing campaign. Because if you get this part wrong, if you misidentify where your market is active and where they're present, you're going to end up marketing on a channel or a social media platform where none of your ideal target market is active or present. I call this the marketing wasteland, and it is the biggest time suck, the biggest waste of money, and the biggest waste of energy that you could ever imagine. It's marketing on platforms and on channels where nobody's active or present, which means you're just wasting your time. The alternative here, however, is really quite simple. It really is just doing a bit of due diligence, a bit of research into your customers, figuring out what kind of content they consume, where they're active and present online, kind of lining up all the pieces, making sure that everything fits, and then going there. Once you've chosen that one primary platform, double down before spreading yourself too thin, and really make sure that you're executing a strategy on that platform to the best of your ability. There's not a lot more that I can say on this one. It's that important, but it's also that simple. Really what I'm saying is make sure that you're making the right decision from the very get-go. Make sure that you're clear on where you need to be and then go there. Double down, focus there, then we can move on to the next tip. All right, so the next tip is to pick a secondary platform. We're gonna call this a supplemental or an accessory platform. Odds are pretty good that as you went through that previous step and you did your due diligence and you figured out where your ideal customers are active and present online, well, you probably came across a number of pretty decent options for where to spend your time, money, and energy marketing your business. Obviously, we're going to select our primary platform first, but there's going to be a couple other backup choices, and this is the opportunity to start to leverage and start to tap into those as well. The beauty of having a primary platform is pretty obvious. You're going to have a main area to focus most of your resources towards and really make sure that you're getting the most bang for your marketing buck. But a secondary platform is a pretty good idea as well because it's going to enable you to fill in the gaps and reach all of the people over here on the secondary platform that maybe aren't as busy or aren't as active on that primary platform, but still make up a pretty sizable chunk of your ideal target market. Statistically speaking, what we're looking at here is like that 80-20 distribution, the Pareto's principle, where you're going to get 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts, or 20% of the platforms are going to deliver 80% of the results. Regardless of which way you want to phrase this, that primary platform should be delivering around 80% of your results. But that secondary platform is going to add an extra 20%. Nobody can argue with an extra 20% boost in ROI. All right, moving right along with how to market your business the right way, the next tip that I want to make sure you understand here is the new rules to pay to play if you want to be marketing your business effectively online. Now, this isn't necessarily a new rule, and in fact, it's been in force and I've been preaching it for a whole lot of years now, but now more than ever, it is incredibly important. What I'm talking about with pay to play is leveraging those paid advertising platforms like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads, pretty much anything that has an ads after it, rather than strictly organic reach, which is anytime you're creating content for free and just posting it on social media or online. So why this massive shift towards paid traffic and away from organic traffic? Well, it's probably not surprising that organic reach is at an all-time low and it's only getting lower. Essentially, back in the day, we used to be able to post content on social media, everybody would see it, we'd go home happy, life was good. Then they realized that the social media platforms started to get really saturated. They started to get really busy, really competitive, and they realized that, well, we're running out of space here in the newsfeed. What are we going to do? Well, I guess we could charge people to put their stuff in front of other people. Essentially, that's just advertising. And then the battle for ad space began. This isn't new. It's not going to change, and any new social media network that ever comes around from any point from this day on, they're going to go through the same thing. When they first come out, you're going to see organic reach is fantastic because they want to encourage usership. They want to encourage content. They want to encourage you getting in there and getting hooked on the platform. But once they've got their hooks in, once you're really hooked and addicted to the platform and you're addicted to the results that it's delivering, they're going to charge you. That's just a fact of life. The beauty is, this is actually a really good thing because there's going to be those business owners and those entrepreneurs and those marketers who get offended and who get really bothered and then just abandon the platform completely. And good riddance, because they clearly don't understand the model and how this all works. Those of us, on the other hand, the professionals opposed to the amateurs, we're going to take advantage of this, especially in the early days where you're going to be able to get a significant return on investment and a great bang for your buck by spending a little and outbuying everybody else who's just given up or who hasn't given it a fair chance. Now, when it does come to running paid traffic, it is a completely different beast, especially if you've never done this before. So you are going to want to do a bit of research and a bit of study into mastering, or at least learning the basics and the fundamentals of running paid traffic. Because if you do it right, it's a great way to make a whole lot of money very quickly. But if you do it wrong, and most people do it wrong, it's a great way to lose a whole lot of money very quickly. Fortunately, I have a ton of videos on this very topic for free on the channel, so just do a quick search and that'll give you a ton of information to get you started. But even before that, there are a few metrics that you're going to want to be familiar with and learn and leverage so you can try to determine what's good and what's not. These are going to be things like CPC or cost per click, things like CTR or click-through rate. You're going to want to know your conversion rates or how many clicks it's going to take in order to generate a lead. You're obviously going to want to learn your cost per lead and ultimately your return on investment or ROI. When you lay out all of your metrics and all your analytics, you're going to be able to approach your marketing kind of from a bit of a boring but mathematical standpoint, and you're going to be able to turn that $1 into $2 with mathematical certainty. And that's a beautiful thing. All right, the next step in marketing your business the right way is to build out a funnel. Now, if you're not familiar with what a marketing funnel is or a sales funnel is, again, I've got a ton of videos on this very topic, but the basics of it is that what it is it's a way to guide the customer through the journey from having no idea who you are all the way through to becoming a loyal, paying, lifelong customer that loves you, loves what you do, and wants to tell everyone about you. One of the biggest mistakes that most new business owners make is they take all of this traffic that they're generating through word of mouth, through referrals, through paid ads, through organic social media, whatever, and they just dump everybody onto their website's homepage, which is a mess, which is confusing, which lists out all their products and all their services, and a contact page, and a locations page, and a services page, and an about page, and all this stuff, and the customer gets lost. When they get lost, they get confused. When they get confused, they don't buy and they just leave. The alternative here is a very simple step-by-step process or funnel that guides them through the entire process. So essentially what you want to do is first identify that ideal customer avatar, that perfect target market that you're trying to serve and who your business is the logical solution for. You want to identify a pain that they have that your business provides the solution to, and then you want to guide them step by step through it. So maybe first you'll offer them a free download or a free trial or something to give them a little bit of information and move them one step closer. After that, you can follow up with maybe a webinar or a sales call or getting them to visit you in store if you have a brick and mortar location. From there, you can follow up by getting them on your email list or running retargeting ads, continuing to increase touch points and further the relationship until you can ultimately make that sale. That's it. It's really not that much more complicated. A lot of people confuse marketing funnels and sales funnels with software and with tools, with all kinds of complicated landing pages and structuring and segmentation and different follow-ups, but it doesn't need to be that complicated. All you have to do is just map out the steps that someone is going to need to take in order to learn about you, learn about why they should care, and then what to do in order to buy from you. That's about it. Sounds simple, but it's incredibly effective, and it is so important if you want to have an effective marketing campaign. All right, the next point on how to market your business the right way is probably the single most important element to marketing success, and that's understanding and accepting and embracing the culture that it's all about the customer. Good marketing lives and dies with the customer. Better yet, it lives and dies with the business's understanding of the customer. And this really comes down to forming that ideal customer avatar, really creating that representation of who your ideal target market is and what makeups and what attitudes and what beliefs and all of the stuff that goes into them, I'll cover in just a minute. Well, the better you understand them, the better you're going to be able to create marketing and messaging that makes them feel understood. When they feel understood, that's when they buy. All right, so how do you do this? Well, I mentioned a few things before, but the way to really craft an ideal customer avatar comes down to three different things: demographic, geographic, and psychographic variables. Demographic details are the obvious stereotypical things like age, gender, income, occupation, title, things like that. Geographic is what city or state or province or country they live in. And then psychographic details are their attitudes, their interests, their beliefs, and all of that other stuff, all of the head stuff that goes into what makes a person tick. The beauty is with online marketing, with digital marketing, is we're able to laser focus in on all of these different elements with very, very accurate precision. I'm talking about all of their demographic details, their geographic details, and also their psychographic details, allowing you to put all of the marketing that you've just built right in front of your most ideal and perfect prospect. That is incredibly powerful. All right, now that you know how to market your business the right way, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. As I fell in love with marketing years ago when I first got interested in figuring out why people buy and act the way they do, and later how to influence and